Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving into a super cool, really old text called a devotional, and we're going to learn how to build your very own secret weapon against fear. I mean, if you ever felt just totally overwhelmed by something, well, you are definitely not alone in that. And by the time we wrap this up, you're going to have an absolutely awesome tool to help you handle it. Okay, so let's just jump right into this. Have you ever been totally freaked out about a huge test at school? Or, maybe you were moving to a new neighborhood, trying out for a new sports team, or just facing something scary and completely new? It happens to all of us. When you're 10 years old, a lot of things are brand new, and new can honestly feel pretty scary sometimes. But what if you had a special trick to make that fear just shrink down to nothing?
That brings us to Section 1. Welcome to Memories Hall.
The devotional we're looking at today gives us this incredibly creative way to handle those scary moments. It tells us to imagine our brains as this giant hall of memories. Think of this hall kind of like your own personal trophy room. Or actually, if you're a gamer, think of it like taking screenshots of your absolute greatest gaming victories and saving them in a special locked folder. It's a place where every good thing that's ever happened to you, every time you felt loved, safe, or won a really tough battle, is kept perfectly safe as an imperishable memento. And imperishable just means it will literally never, ever be destroyed. Now, you might think that to feel brave, you need to read epic stories about famous historical heroes or, big men of God. But this devotional shares something super surprising. Remembering your very own little wins and the personal blessings you've received actually gives you way more encouragement than just reading someone else's biography. Seriously, your own memories are your most powerful tool. Moving right along to Section 2, what is an Ebenezer? First off, don't worry, we are definitely not talking about grumpy old Ebenezer Scrooge from A Christmas Carol. In this devotional, an Ebenezer is actually a really cool rock of victory. The word literally translates to stone of help. It's a physical marker, a monument that just screams out to the world, hey, something amazing happened right here, and we got help when we really needed it. So, the devotional shares this awesome historical moment from the Bible involving a leader named Samuel. Samuel and his people, the Israelites, had just won a huge, terrifying battle against their enemies, the Philistines. They were super scared, but they won. So to make sure they never forgot who helped them, Samuel set up this giant stone right in the middle of everything. He called it Ebenezer to boldly declare that up until right now, God has had their backs. Hitherto is just a fancy old-school way of saying up to this very minute. And Samuel wasn't the only one who did this. God actually commanded great leaders like Moses and Joshua to build these monumental pillars and remembrances too. Imagine walking past a massive pile of giant stones every single day. It was there so the Israelites would never forget the special victories they won after they left Egypt. It was a giant, visual reminder that they were not alone. Let's look at how this applies to you in Section 3, your personal trophy case. The crucial point here is that God doesn't just want ancient leaders building stone monuments in the desert. He wants you to do the exact same thing today, right inside your own mind. Here's exactly what kinds of stones you can collect in your memory hall. Think about a time you were super upset and someone comforted you. Well, that's a tear wiped away. Or when you were terrified of the dark or a loud storm or a test, and suddenly you felt calm. That's an anxiety removed or fear dispelled. Or maybe a time you really needed something, like a friend on the playground, and one just showed up. That is a want supplied. These are the tender mercies you need to keep fresh in your memory. Okay, Section 4, facing scary new thing. This devotional points out that we will definitely face tough stuff on our pilgrimage. Pilgrimage is just an old-fashioned word for your life's journey. Going from being a kid to a teenager to an adult. Along this journey, you're going to face what the text calls perplexities, which just means really confusing times. You might also face privations, which is when you don't have something you really need, or bereavements, which is going through deep sadness when you lose someone or something you love. It's tough, but it's a normal part of the journey. But hey, here is where your superpower kicks in. When those scary new trials pop up, you don't have to panic. Instead, you just close your eyes, walk into your mind's memory hall, look at your past victories, and say, God helped me then, so I am not going to be dismayed right now. You remind yourself that the exact same help you got back then is available to you right now. You are literally using your past to protect your future. How cool is that? Which brings us to our final part, Section 5, building your own stones. The devotional teaches us a really powerful lesson here. It says whether we are rich or poor, learned, meaning you get straight A's, or illiterate, meaning maybe you really struggle with reading,
It literally doesn't matter. Everyone can do this. We have to guard these precious memories of God's care so well that not a single letter fades away. You have to actively choose to remember the good stuff, because if you don't, the bad stuff will easily take over your thoughts.
So here is your simple 3-step action plan straight from the lesson. Step 1, spot the blessing. Notice when something good happens, even if it's super small, like passing a tough quiz. Step 2, put it in your memory hall. Take a mental snapshot and say, I am saving this memory. Step 3, remember it next time you're scared. When you face the next big, terrifying thing, pull that memory right back out. Use it to remind yourself that you've been helped before, and for sure you'll be helped again.
To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one big thought to act on right now. You don't have to wait until you are older to start doing this. What specific blessing or victory will you turn into your very first Ebenezer today? Find your stone, put it safely in your memory hall, and start building your superpower against fear. Thanks for exploring this devotional with me today. Keep learning, keep remembering, and stay brave.